the one video that's kind of like worked for us on Reels is when we put like POV, you just found a new band that sounds like this, and this, and it's still small enough to like hop on early. But then like a lot of times we'll get like a lot of messages from fans being like, I thought you guys were huge, or like, oh my gosh, I've been following you since 2019. Like you guys are, and I'm just like, are we like downplaying the fact that we already have like fans that really care about us by like slamming the same type of video 30 times? I think about that all the time. I am conscientious. Like I don't want to burn people out from like, if they follow us, like I feel like getting someone to hit the follow button is like a sacred thing.
What's going on? Welcome to the New Music Business. I'm your host, Ari Herstand, author of How to Make It in the New Music Business, the book, 3rd edition, out now everywhere, hardcover, ebook, audiobook, however you like books, you can find it. Today, my guests are Joe and Jordan from the band DOUBLECAMP.
Outside of my mind, do I have to act like I'm okay, just to try and feel like I'm alright? How does everyone make it look easy? I feel like I'm barely getting by. I want every...
Now, DOUBLECAMP, they have over 70 million streams just on Spotify alone. They are a working DIY band. They distribute through DistroKid, and they talk about how they built their career, and they tour 300 cap rooms for their headline tours. They've done a bunch of bigger support tours, and they're a working band, and they talk about how they're making it work. And they talk about the fan communities they have. They have a bunch of super fans and how they work with their super fans through the various communities and online platforms, and we dive into that. They've also recently signed a publishing deal and a label services deal that also runs through DistroKid, and it's a very fascinating thing, this model that I hadn't actually heard of before, and it's done in an innovative way, very artist-friendly. They dive into kind of how that all works with their new label services. I don't even know what to call it right now. They call it a distribution deal, but it's actually outside of DistroKid. They just use DistroKid for the pipelines. They have an interesting business model that's working really well for them, and so we talk all about that. We talk about also their creation process. They kind of create a lot of their stuff on their own, and we talk about how they're approaching all of the various social media platforms to bring in new fans, how they're using them to deepen the relationship with their existing fans. All of that. It was a great conversation. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you haven't checked out DOUBLECAMP's music yet, go give them a listen. They're a lot of fun. You can find DOUBLECAMP on all the social platforms and listen to them where you listen to music. Find all of us that make this show happen at Ari's Take on the social platforms. Find me at Ari Herstand on Instagram if you want to shoot me a DM. Visit aristake.com, get on the email list. That's where you can get the most relevant, up-to-date information about the new music business. We'll ping you about new episodes, but more importantly, send you the stuff you need to know about the new music business when we hear about it. Get on the email list, visit aristake.com, sign up there. Right now, though, if you could pause this, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, follow button, leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or however you're listening to this. That really helps. All right, let's kick into the show. DOUBLECAMP, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
Good. Joe, Jordan, nice to have you. Did I see correctly on your Instagram story? Did you write a song with Zac Efron yesterday? Was that a joke or was that real?
It was a joke. I wish, because we're High School Musical fans, but yeah,
I mean, All Bloom was on the screen, and you tag. And I was like so confused. I'm like, maybe Zach's in the background. Is he getting into music now? Is he writing a song? I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. They all jump into music eventually.
Yeah, no. We did a tour with a friend of ours, goes by All Bloom, and the whole running tour, everyone was like, this guy looks like Zac Efron. And when he was on that screen with his big, beautiful eyes, I was just like, dude, you're Zac Efron.
Okay. Cool. But it was a virtual writing session I saw, right?
Yeah.
How did you, do you do many of those? How does that work? And how does, it's curious to me that people still do virtual writing sessions. I know that was pretty common over the pandemic, but do you do many of those? How does it go?
We do them if it requires, I guess. We prefer to be in the room in person.
Yeah.
And if we do it over a virtual, we just use Zoom like that. He's in LA and we're in Nashville. And we just actually signed pub deals. So we'll probably be going back and forth a lot more.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But as of right now, like it just, I don't know. He's a good friend. So we're just like, I think we're trying to release some music together next year. And we're like, let's just mess with some song starts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your songwriting process, because I noticed for the majority of DoubleCamp songs, it's just the two of you that write all the songs, and you do like very little co-writing with that. Have you like ever explored co-writing with others? I mean, you make pop music, so it's kind of like in the pop realm, co-writing is just how it goes, and it's fascinating to me that you guys have kind of kept it all in-house with your music. Has that been part of the conversation, and how intentional has that been? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, we typically, like the way a lot of ideas, even the ideas that we write with other people start, is I'm kind of like the 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. kind of guy. So I'll just...
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like a night person, so I'll just sit...
Doesn't work for Nashville writing sessions very well.
No. It's been something I get used to now that we're working with a publisher, all the rights. Like, we had one at 9 a.m. the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
I was like forcing myself to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll start a lot of ideas, and then we actually... when we moved down here, we met a friend of ours who comes out on the road and does merch and video and kind of TMs with us. And he's like really the only person we consistently will write with. And he's on probably like 75% of songs with us. Just a really good friend. But a lot of times it's just kind of like taking an idea that maybe I have like a first verse or second verse or a chorus, and then we finish it there. But yeah, collaborative. And then he's big on like a lot of the instrumental parts. He kind of plays every instrument, and we just work that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And so because and who is that person? What's their name?
Oh,
Brian West.
Yeah, Brian West. Yep.
Brian West. Cool.
And
I was just
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's interesting because like, we've been doing, I think one thing is like the whole co-writing process has been interesting because we had like 5 sessions last week. And I think one thing we've realized is like, we've been in enough writes now with other people where it's just like, when we go into them, if we're writing for someone else, it's like really listening to the other person's music and like trying to help them get their vision across. Because we've been in a lot of writes where people just kind of like go like, I know what you guys need, and we're like, this is nothing like we would ever do. Like, we're never going to use this, or like, yeah. And then there's sessions with people who end up being very fruitful. And the guy who produced our whole last album, we did one of the songs from scratch with him too. And it's just sometimes it just clicks, and you just kind of find your people. But we do keep it pretty small. We are a tight knit group for sure.
Yeah, was that part of the conversation with the publisher with this new deal to kind of write for DoubleCamp, or are you enlisted as songwriters to kind of write for other projects to get cuts, to write with other artists? What's kind of the idea with this new pub deal? And who is it with, by the way?
So it's Warner Chappell, and then Range, and then a lady named Abby Adams here. She started Alliance Music Partners. So it's like a 3-person joint venture. And actually Brian, the guy that we write with, and the two of us, we're 3 of the 4 writers she has right now, which is cool. So we got to keep the squad together.
That's great.
But yeah, it's for DoubleCamp. We're signed as DoubleCamp, but him and I have separate deals because I do a lot of just like writing on my own too. And there's songs that we don't use for DoubleCamp.
He can write in like any genre too. So he and Brian is a big country guy. So a lot of times the two of them will get together and work on a country tune. So
cool.
He's able to get in the room with a bunch of people. I'm a little bit more like pigeonholed with the instrumentals and stuff, but
so she's pushing for a lot of like sync stuff. She's trying to get us into like the pop realm of stuff. But a lot of stuff for Double Camp right now. We're kind of like writing to beat songs for our next year releases right now. We had a song on hold with a pretty big country dude for like 6 months, but it didn't end up being cut. So I was hoping, I was like, come on, change our lives.
Yeah. And how did this pub deal come together with Alliance Range, Warner Chapel?
Brian, actually, we were busy. We were on tour and Brian was like, he writes all the time. He was like, I'm going to go meet my BMI rep and I'm just going to like have her start courting me with like publishing companies. And we had kind of done a similar thing, but we were getting put in a lot of these like speed dating rights where it felt like we were, a lot of them I walked out being like, I don't think these people like listen to like anything we've ever done. And then you go in there and you're like, oh, this is rough. But he ended up getting linked with this, with Abby, who is really just like a passionate person, been in the music industry a long time. And he was like, hey, if you're going to like bring me on, like you got to check out, the rest of the squad. And she ended up coming out to a show and we all were just like, hit it off.
Nice. That's great. That's so cool. It's so nice when it can kind of happen organically like that with your friends and people that you're just like, trusted collaborators and all of that. So, very cool. So tell me about your process here. Well, actually, before we get into that, because and I do want to dig in to the album a bit. A Second to Myself, I know you released last year, and then I want to talk about the new songs, especially Bill Murray as Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I really appreciated that reference in there. Yeah, that was really fun. I saw, so you're doing the Secret Santa initiative with your fans, which I started to kind of follow. And I went down the rabbit hole, and you have a Discord, you have an Instagram broadcast channel, you have these like fan communities, and I love how you call it the campground. Yeah. And then you have like campfire chats, and it was like it's very on brand. It's very nice. But tell me about these fan communities and what do you use Instagram broadcast for? What do you use Discord for? The difference, what do you use Instagram general for? What are you using TikTok for? Do you have a text list and email? Like, tell me how you kind of run, because I know so much of your business is run DIY by you guys. And tell me about the thinking behind how you engage with your fans, your super fans, how you're bringing more in. Just like step me through all of that, because I found it so fascinating as I was exploring all of it.
Yeah, so Discord for us, the fans made our Discord, and actually like,
oh no shit.
Yeah, 4 fans, kind of like 2 started it, and then now there's 2 more that have kind of like overhauled it and segmented it out. And that was really cool. We were on tour with Almost Monday, and the fan base was just super responsive to us. And a couple of the fans were like, hey, can we start you a Discord? And so we started doing that. And then we just went out with Sub Radio, who has like a great internet following, awesome guys. And they had fans that were like, I mean, like would go to the VIP like every single night, like travel, like cross the country to like every show. Whoa. And a lot of them followed through to us, and they're like, hey, can we like make your Discord even like better? And so when it came to the Secret Santa thing, the people who run in the Discord were like, hey, can we do a Secret Santa? Like, we would love to like get more people in the Discord. And so it's been awesome. We're like super fortunate to have fans like that. I feel like we're able to go and do like 200 to 300 cap rooms as ourselves, like headlining. And so having that fan base, like being that we've built this, like, with our tight knit like crew is pretty awesome. But so like Discord's kind of a thing like for the fans. And I feel like we're still like almost learning to navigate that world a little bit, because it's like it's the newest one to us. We'll hop on it and do like, live video hangs and stuff with the people in the chat. And then we're trying to do more things like this, like events, because I feel like Discord's the easiest to connect face to face with your fans, which is really cool. Instagram, the broadcast channel is great for the people who you want to have see your announcements, because the algorithm does not show your stuff to everybody. So the more people you can get to follow you in your broadcast channel, a lot of that is just maybe a few like behind the scenes peeks, but a lot of it's just like if we have tour dates, like making sure they go in there too so people can see them and stuff like that. TikTok is the Wild West. We're just throwing up videos, hoping something clicks. I don't know. Trying every weird thing we can possibly think of. And then Instagram is kind of like, I feel like we just try to keep it a little more like clean looking.
Interesting, yeah.
But I mean, Reels has been awesome too. So yeah, I don't know. Social media is a wild game, and like, it's a necessary part of what we're doing. But I think our thing that we're trying to focus on this year is just like for the fans, because I feel like if it connects with our fan base, hopefully other people will see that and come in. Because we definitely, I think our biggest thing, like we have like 70 million streams, but we have like 10K Instagram followers, just under. So it's like we're trying to learn how to grow socials in that way.
I mean, that is also really interesting to me, and this is just kind of a snapshot of where we're at in kind of the history of the music industry, in that like you can play 200 to 300 cap rooms around the country, but you have, you know, but you have 10,000 Instagram followers, whereas I know bands with 300,000 Instagram followers that can't sell 50 tickets in any market. It's like, it's wild, you know? And it's just like this discrepancy of how like the numbers, it's really hard to understand. And the fact that you have super fans that will create a Discord and run it for you, and like you have this fandom that goes so deep, but it's not necessarily reflected on the top level numbers. And that is, you know, any day of the week, I would much prefer to have what you have with you know, the depth of the fan base and being able to, you know, play clubs and you know, sell out clubs in any city you go to, versus vanity metrics. I think vanity metrics are, you know, it's the smoke and mirrors is kind of coming to a close, at least hopefully, in the sense that like people are seeing right through that, especially in the industry. Right, fingers crossed. But so, but you know, but I there is some value and a currency in a lot of these numbers, you know, when people are communicating and selling and talking about it. And so I feel that pull. But I want to go back a little bit and kind of, you know, because I do see that you've had a bit of traction on TikTok and you know, with some of your earlier songs, especially, you know, with, I think I saw, I think it was Dreamers that had like 150 some videos made to the song, but then there's just like some other. So talk to me about like that kind of your TikTok experience, because that was that song came out in 2019, and before TikTok was honestly really a thing. And then tell me about the journey of Dreamers and just kind of like how that all happened and the growth and the multiple lives and just all of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, what really happened for us was we were basically in 2019, you know, Jordan and I moved to Nashville together. We're from Milwaukee. Originally.
Oh, no shit. I'm from Milwaukee originally. Whereabouts?
I went to UWM. I lived like in Slinger, like 45 minutes north, and he went to Wisconsin Lutheran College.
Yeah, which I actually saw you play at WLC in like 2008 or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Down in the booth. I was asking a bunch of my buddies. There were like 5 of us who got a photo with you, and I was texting them all this morning like, does anyone have the RE photo?
Bro,
none of us could find it, but I'm gonna keep hunting it down. So I'm gonna.
I need to see that photo. Wait. I am now going to derail this entire interview for a couple minutes. I can't believe you didn't open with that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah. You said Wisconsin Lutheran College?
Yeah.
Dude, because I did the college circuit for a minute and played like every college in like, the Midwest. But, that's so funny. I grew up in Shorewood. I went to elementary school in Shorewood, right outside of Milwaukee, and then moved to Madison. My parents still live in Madison. So, deep Wisconsin roots there. So that's so funny. Wild. Okay, well, we'll hunt that photo down, and I want to see it someday if you can. But that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, back on track. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's great. It is crazy.
Yeah. Keep going now.
But yeah, so we moved down from Milwaukee, and then we started this DoubleCamp because him and I were the two like main creators, and we didn't have a band name. We had like nothing, 0 followers, and we had this like squad of friends, and we all just like, one of them is like currently our lawyer. One of them masters all our music. 3 of them were like the people who helped us produce out the first like 10 tunes. Yeah. And then it was the 2 of us. And basically what we would do is we'd throw these like, we only did like 3 shows in town. And it was like everybody invite every industry contact, like, and so our first 5 tunes, all of them, like first tune was like Fresh Finds, like we got cover of Fresh Finds, we got Good Vibes, we got Indie Pop, New Music Friday. So we went from like 0 to like 400,000 monthly listeners within our like first 5 songs.
That's insane.
It was crazy because we had done. That
doesn't happen.
Yeah, we had done the like NACA circuit as the old project, and like we're just like thought we were doing it, and then like. I was like, dang, this like put us in this whole other thing that we've never even experienced before.
And who did you distribute those early songs with?
DistroKid. We just uploaded them on DistroKid.
Yeah. No shit. And do you think that the people that you invited, I mean, can you trace it back like to people that came to those early shows? Is like, oh shit, there was the editor from Spotify that just loved the show and popped us in all the playlists. No.
Yeah, no. I think one thing, we like DM some like old fans of old bands, just like pre-save our first song, like whatever. But that's about it. And like,
incredible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody at Spotify,
somebody liked it
for us. So.
Yep.
And so that was cool. And we got to like, we were like meeting with labels, and like we signed with like, or started working with UTA like right off the rip. And then 2020, obviously, like the world shut down for everybody. And then we like fell off a lot of those playlists, and then we got to see like, oh wow, this is all like a passive metric. Like, here's like where our true foundation is. And we settled back down to like the 100,000 range kind of thing of monthly listeners. And we're just like, okay, like, ouch. Cause all we knew was like this now, and all these things were coming from this. And then we ended up like building it back up to like 700,000. And then we dipped back down to like, 300,000.
And how are you doing that when you're saying we built it back up? I mean, you didn't really know how you got on all those playlists initially. Was it through playlists or was it through other
so that big surge was a lot through like discovery mode on Spotify.
Okay.
So
interesting.
What we found
just for people that don't know, so that's in Spotify for Artists. It's part of their campaign kit. It's a marketing tool where you can essentially juice up some of the songs and you pay in royalties. So they'll keep 30% of the royalties. You don't pay in dollars, but you pay in royalties, and they will add you kind of to the top of other people's radio stations and stuff like that. And so that worked really well for you. That's amazing.
We were trying to test, like, is it worth it? And it was like, even at them taking like a third of the royalty, it took like Dreamers went from like 4,000 streams a day to like 30,000 streams a day. Incredible. So we're still making money on it. And it's just like an exposure game for us. Plus, like, feel like a lot of, the money doesn't come from, like, we do make good money on like our back catalog, but it's not like playing a college is like, you can make way more money playing a college than you can like streaming a song. So for us, we're like, let's just get it out there and get exposed. And I feel like that's kind of honestly those early days at Spotify and just getting our music out to so many people probably has a lot to do with the fan base that we do have. Because our biggest thing is we go to shows and people will be like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize I have 5 of your songs on my playlist. I just didn't know you guys were Double Camp. Right. And that's kind of what we're trying to figure out is like how to bridge that gap.
Put a face to the name and the songs and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that is also the era that we're in right now, is that people, because listeners have been trained in this playlist economy in the singles economy, where they love a playlist, but they just don't know any of the artists of the music on that playlist that they really dig. Or they love somebody's radio station and then you pop up on that and then they save it and then they have their liked songs and they just hit shuffle on their liked songs and now your music keeps coming up. But it's like, right, how do you get them to dive deeper and become a real fan that will then buy a ticket to the show or join your Discord or whatever? So what are some of the methods that you've been doing to kind of bridge that gap, to kind of get those fans or get those listeners to become fans?
I think we just try to make music that actually like says something and means something. I think we write a lot about like mental health stuff or like, the occasional, I always say, if you like sad songs to happy music, like we might be your new favorite band kind of thing.
I like that.
And
it's a good hook.
I feel like we get a lot of DMs from people just who relate to things that we're saying in the songs. So I feel like that builds like a connection. We were just on tour for 6 weeks and pretty much every tour we've been on, some of us get sick because we stay after and we meet every single fan, sign everything. Like,
I got some wellness pills that I'll send you. They're the lifesavers. They taste and smell like garlic, but I swear by them. I don't know what it is, but I pop 3 a day and boom, haven't been sick for a minute.
I'm in. I saw my thing was like Mucinex, and I just read an article that they're like Mucinex doesn't work. They're like pulling it off the shelves.
Oh no shit!
And I was just like, I took that stuff. Like I was like, this is gonna save me.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that. And then honestly, I think a lot of it's just like out of our control. I think we're just super fortunate that people connect with it in the way that they do. Because same thing, like we played LA and there was some people there that were like, hey, an artist like played here with like a platinum record last week and you guys had more people here. But then sometimes, from our perspective, we're just like, yeah, but they got a it's the trade-off of like trying not to like think like that, but
It's like, well, my parents know what a platinum record is and they've never heard of this club, so
100%. Oh my gosh, if I could tell my mom and dad like I'm on The Voice or like my aunt and uncle, they'd be like, you've made it. I know.
Oh my god, yeah, that's funny. But what's not so fun is 3 years after being on The Voice, when everyone thought you'd made it, when you're back working at Starbucks and they're like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, I thought that was, you made it.
Yeah.
Or, right.
Backpedaled. What happened?
Very true. Yeah.
But, it's, we can't do, as much as we do it for the parents' praise, it comes a point in time when it's just like, y'all got to trust us. I know you're never going to understand what I'm doing, but just know that I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm following, doing what makes me happy. And honestly, that at the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to. And my parents accepted a long time ago. They're never going to understand what I do. But like, as long as I can support myself and I seem to be doing okay and I'm healthy and happy, they're like, all right, well, whatever.
Right. Exactly.
So, cool. So, I'm curious about your, because like, you have these tiers and where it's, I guess, a lot of marketers will call this a funnel, and the top of funnel is like the pass is just like, where you're bringing people in. And that's where like they either come from playlists where they're just passive listeners, have no idea who you are, but you're trying to get them to go deeper in that funnel. Or they come from TikTok where they see a video come up or whatever. And then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper down to the very core at the bottom is where they're like, buying tickets to your shows and they're, joining your Discord and they're buying your merch and they become super fans. But to get people into your world, to kind of welcome them in, sure, the playlisting thing and discovery mode, that's you don't have as much control anymore over that. It's kind of at the whims of just what the algorithm is going to do, or what maybe at the editors of Spotify. But like, I do see that you're leaning into short form video a bit, and you are playing the game. You're making those short videos. Like some of your TikToks, they look almost like music videos. And I went to go to YouTube to like find the full music video. I'm like, oh, this was just a 20-second video or something that you made on a football field or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty fascinating. So do you like, tell me about this process. Like, do you dedicate days where like, all right, we're going to create videos, and then my buddy's great at writing hooks, or we're going to do that, or like, how much of it is like your daily process that you schedule this? Is it on a whim? Do you get together? Do you have friends that help you with this? Are you working with an agency? Like, tell me like this process of like doing that short form video thing and praying to the TikTok gods.
Yeah. So we basically, like, I did some research on just like editing videos and like cinematic cameras and stuff, and we were renting like a Blackmagic Pro for like a long time, and we would just take it on.
That's why your videos look so damn good.
we were renting one on tour, but then I just pulled out an Amazon credit card, and then like the cash back, it ended up being like, I was like, we'll pay this off within like 2 tours. So we're just like, let's just buy like, so we just bought a Blackmagic, and then I just, if you get like DaVinci Pro, which isn't very expensive.
That's the video editing software?
Yeah. It's linked to Blackmagic. So you can actually like if you mess up like the ISO, like you can change it after the fact. So
cool.
So you can like ruin a video and still save it, which like we're not video people, so we do that a lot. Nice. So yeah, pretty much every music video we've ever shot, we've just done. And then like our like homie who writes songs with us, Brian, on every Tuesday, it's like the DoubleCamp blocked out Tuesday. We'll just go shoot like 5 or 6 videos, and I'll just come home and like edit them.
Right on Tuesdays.
What'd you call it? DoubleCamp Blockout Tuesday?
Yeah, we just block out DoubleCamp Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday.
I love it.
DoubleCamp Tuesday.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think like on tour, it's obviously way easier because we were like, oh, let's go review this restaurant, or let's like, these fans want to take us to Cane's after the show. Let's go get Raising Cane's with some fans. Or like, you can show like more personality. Like when we're home, our publisher's like, what do you do every day? And I'm like, I literally just sit in this room and write songs like every single day. So I'm like, it's not as exciting. I think that's something we're still really trying to navigate is just how to show our authentic selves via social media. Because I like, to be honest, like even my favorite artists, like I don't watch their short form like media. Like if they put out a song, I'll go listen to the song. I'll go buy a ticket to the show. But I'm so like burnt out by just seeing everyone lip sync their song that like when I post it, I'm like, I hope people like look at this, you know? So I think we're trying to figure out like new ways to kind of, which I think will end up being more, I'm building a studio in our second bedroom, and I think we're going to try and do more just like interview stuff, day in the life stuff, creating stuff, and just be more authentic than like, you know, because I've noticed like we put out Bill Murray, and it's like you put it out, the first video gets 30,000 views, and then it just kind of like tapers down because people are like, all right, seen this. So it's
right. That's the challenge of just like thinking about, is this video for our fans, or is this video for a new audience that we're hoping will come in to become fans? And then that's the challenge, is just like, you know, because the traditional mentality and the strategy that is that I guess is assumed is that you put out a ton of videos for the same song with the same part of the song. It's like, you know, you do 30 videos with the same 20-second clip of the song, and then people, it's like radios. You just like keep hitting them over the head with that 20-second clip, and then eventually people are like, man, I can't get that earworm out of my ear. What is that song? And then they listen to the song, or they come in or whatever. But if you knew that was just going to hit your fans over and over again, that would be terrifying. Like no one would do that because like our fans are going to get annoyed, but then it's like removing yourself. It's like, well, no, the algorithm hopefully is going to find other people and we don't know which video is going to work. So we got to try the 30 and then maybe one's going to connect or something like that. So when you're, knowing that and thinking about that, I mean, is there that like struggle or challenge that like, man, we're going to annoy our fans by doing this, or this isn't as authentic for us because like, this is so obvious. We're trying to appeal to a cold audience and this video is not for our fans. So does this maybe think like we're turning our back on our fans? Or are they going to see this and like, and like us less? Or how does that go into the whole process of creating these videos on DoubleCamp Blackout Tuesday?
Yeah. I mean, that's something like, I think for us, because we can go play like 200 to 300 cap rooms, I feel like we have kind of a dedicated fan base. So sometimes like the one video that's kind of like worked for us on Reels is when we put like POV, you just found a new band that sounds like this, and this, and it's still small enough to like hop on early. But then like a lot of times we'll get like a lot of messages from fans being like, I thought you guys were huge, or like, oh my gosh, like I've been following you since 2019. Like you guys are, and I'm just like, are we like downplaying the fact that we already have like fans that really care about us by like slamming the same type of video 30 times? I think about that all the time. And I think like it's just trying to create like a blend of it. And I also think like in a way they kind of get it, but I am conscientious. Like I don't want to burn people out from like if they follow us. Like I feel like getting someone to hit the follow button is like a sacred thing. Like because I don't follow half the people that I listen to,
Right.
But TikTok, to me, it's like TikTok, go do the Wild West. We did the when we put out our album, we basically for every single single shot like 40 pieces of vertical content for every single song, and we posted 5 times a week. And halfway through doing that, we had like a call with our manager because I was like, the first video does good and then it just like fades out from there. And she talked to someone at Instagram and the lady was like, I think you're kind of like cannibalizing the algorithm. And it's like, and it's almost like not knowing what to push because there's so much video coming out. So she was like, maybe go down to like 2 to 3 times a week. And I think we've been kind of taking more of that approach on Reels, and that helps us feel like we're not like flooding our fans. And then it's like, if you go on TikTok, like, sorry, you're just going to get flooded because half the videos don't get shown to, your fans anyway. So
I think on tour too, before tour, we were still posting a bunch about old songs, new songs, some like similar videos like that, where it felt like we were maybe shoving it down people's throats. But on tour, there's just new city every night. New food, new people. So we were posting a lot of like pretty unique new ideas that people were really gravitating to and commenting on and getting interactions. So that was kind of a good eye opener too. Like maybe it is better to like diversify what we're doing and focus on the people that are here. And then that will slowly just grab more people too.
We literally in Seattle, we went in with our iPhones and reviewed Emerald City fish and chips for a minute and a half. And it got more views than like this thing that we spent we planned, went to a location, edited, and I was just like, dude, I think we just gotta like be more of ourselves and just whatever.
And I mean, being on tour, that's always inherently more fun, and it's just exciting for people to kind of get a day in the life or behind the scenes or something like that. So that's cool. That makes a lot of sense. What is your tour promo like? How do you promote tours? How do you promote shows?
Yeah, we found a lady.
You're smiling. Yeah, I'm so cute. Yeah.
Before you go, just every tour like that we've done, we get home and within a week, somebody will DM and be like, "When are you coming to Denver?" And
we'll be like, God, that's the worst.
Like, we were just there and we were posting about it for a month.
Like,
oh God, I hate that.
But we did find a lady. Her name's Eleanor, and she just like crushes ads. And she's like an artist out in LA, and she taught herself the back end of Meta, and she just runs ads for us. And amazing. I will say, like, I'll do the touring thing first, but she's also helping us with some other stuff. It really, like, I mean, I felt like it crushed. Like when she started running ads, like we sold 100 more tickets in the last like week leading up to the show.
For our headline tour.
And it was crazy. The ads that worked were us being like, what did we do? We were like,
we did one for every city.
We were like, hey man, we should go to Seattle. And he's like, Seattle, why? We don't know anyone there. And I was just like, but we will when you come see us in Seattle. Like every city, that's all we did. And it like totally worked. And I was just like, it's crazy because it seems so cringy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the conversion rate was like 10 cents a click or something on it. It was like crazy. And from that, another thing that we've realized in regards to like streaming and discovery mode, she's been running a ad campaign for the first month of a new song release.
Mm-hmm.
And Shortcut is now our like top streaming song. It's streaming like 10,000 times a day or something like that. And it's primarily through Spotify radio and discovery mode. And I think what we're finding is like a connection to when you're running the ad for the first month of your release, all our ads, she's been able to get them to like 10 cents a conversion. So they're like basically viral Facebook ads, Instagram ads.
Incredible. Yeah.
And I think because the song's growing, then when we do click on like discovery mode, it's been able to like really push our songs.
Yeah.
And like, even when we got on like Soda or like Chill Pop, it's just not the same. Like playlists just don't have the same. When we first in 2019, we'd get on Indie Pop and we'd be like under Maggie Rogers and get like 40,000 streams in a day. And I felt like we were on Soda for like 2 months and we got maybe like 2,000 streams a day from it. So it's not even like, it's just not even the same. So running the ads, she just crushes it. That's a lot of our tour promo is just doing that.
I mean, the ads in general, I mean, just first to speak to the ads for streaming, I mean, 10 cents per conversion is insane. Like that is, for people that don't know the ballpark of metrics or whatever, 25 cents a conversion is great. 20 cents, you're crushing it. 15 cents, you're like in a league, you're like the top 99%. 10 cents per conversion is like unheard of. So that's, I need Eleanor's name, number, email. No, like, everybody needs an Eleanor, right?
I'm gonna say I wanna fact check it. It might be around like 15, but it's somewhere. I know for a fact it's under 20.
Yeah. Either way, that's great, and the fact that you've cracked it and you figured out to find that audience, and you know. And it's not just per click to get the convert, and like, you know, that's really great. And it's fascinating, you know, to hear that the ads for tour promo, because tour promo is tough in the sense, especially running ads, because so many of the venues, like the vast majority of venues, have their own ticketing, require you to use their ticketing, don't give you any of that data, don't give you, like, it's basically this like firewall where you pay to run ads to send people to their ticketing platform, and then it's a void. I mean, were you able to, now this might be too technical, maybe this is a question for Eleanor, but I'm very fascinated that at the club level, of the 300 cap club level, did any of these venues allow you to tap in to their ticketing platform to help the conversion rate, to at least understand that if these ads are working for somebody to actually purchase a ticket, or did you just have to send it to the ticket page and just hope that they converted from that?
I think she was able to send it to the ticket page for us, and then she would see who clicked on the like buy a ticket from us, and it would take them to the ticket page, and then you would assume that they bought a ticket.
And then you can retarget through that and assume, right. But, you know, then that's what's so fucked up about our industry is like, there is no other industry in the world where you can't track the customer journey to checkout, to like, we got the sale. Like, even Etsy creators in their bedrooms can track the fucking sales and like know like, oh, this person actually bought it and I have their email and I can follow up with them. But like, it's just like wild to me that, artists go on these tours no matter what level you're at, other than Taylor Swift. No one else gets their fan data, and we don't know our customers who show up to our concerts. And that's a whole other topic, and that is wild. But that is also another reason why the person in Dallas didn't know that you were coming to town, because you can't really, send them direct messages or emails saying, hey, you came to our show last time. We have your email. So, here we're letting you know that we're coming again or whatever. And we have to rely on all these third parties, and like Spotify's trying to help out a little bit by, they send out these emails, and like bands in town, whatever. There's all these platforms, but at the end of the day, like all we really want is our fan data, like our customer information. And so, the fact that you've been able to be successful with that, without that, I mean, that's a testament as well.
Yeah.
So tell me about your team a little bit. You mentioned your manager. Do you have, you mentioned that you signed with UTA. Are you still with UTA for booking, or?
No. We're not with UTA. We're with FATA now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Eva over there.
Eva. Yep.
Just a better fit for us. And then we have distribution. We're with version 3, which is like, are you familiar with version 3 at all?
Version 3? No.
So basically, Ben and Josh are, and then there's one other guy, Andrew, who's kind of like the silent partner. But essentially, Ben is like higher up in streaming at Warner, and then Josh was high up in streaming at Hopeless Records. And so they started this side thing where they were passionate about like just,
a development
artist kind of thing. And they actually are the ones that, did you hear that like Austin by Dasho's, like, did your boot stop working? Did your truck break down? It was all over like TikTok, 500 million streams. So they're the ones that broke that song.
Gotcha.
With her, and they actually like emptied their bank accounts for her, and like it ended up paying off tenfold because obviously she just won a People's Choice Award. But
yeah.
So yeah, they're like our distribution team, and that's cool. It's like it's a 80-20 split. If they give us money, it's a 50-50 split to recoup, and then it goes back to 80-20.
Amazing.
And they've been awesome.
And when did you jump from them from DistroKid, and did you move the whole catalog?
So they still run through DistroKid.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, which is cool. But we just the album essentially was when we first kind of started working with them.
So was it like a label services kind of deal then, or are they technically like your label just with the splits but not ownership? That's an interesting platform, because I haven't heard of a distribution deal but still run through another distributor like that. I guess it's almost like a marketer, sub-label, label services, something like that.
Yeah, so they don't and they don't I guess they don't do like, if we needed money for like tour support, like they'll give us like $1,000 to run ads on something.
Sure.
And like Eleanor's like $500. And then so we have like $500 to like run the ads, or like
they helped us pay for the album.
Gave us money to like go do that, or like, and sometimes like we're like, we can just cover this ourselves, like we don't want to have to do like a recoup on this. But yeah, we kept our whole back catalog, so really they got like a couple songs before the album we did with them, and then we're like, let's do the album. But
I just want to clarify something with the deal that you said it's 50-50 pre-recoupment, and then it's 80-20 post-recoupment. Is that right? Meaning that you're still making 50% of the royalties even before you recoup the cost that they put in advance? Wow, that's the most generous. I haven't heard of a label deal like that before.
Yeah,
their big thing was that they just see all the crappy deals that these small artists would get, like coming into Warner, where they just take everything, and they're like, we want to help the little guy out. And so
that's pretty awesome.
A great
that's
blessing.
Great.
So it's been cool because I feel like just the whole like first couple songs we did that with them, it was just an 80-20 split because we didn't take any money. And then the album, they gave us, a budget. So then it was like 50-50 on all those songs. And going forward, the songs we released till that's recouped. And I don't know, I feel like it's just cool because they're always down to say like, hey, like we're talking about next year. And they're like, you guys want to do vinyl? Hey, like, you want to do a project? Cool. And we're really in the singles game. So we just have been putting out like 6 to 7 songs a year. We have like 40 songs out. So the fact that we don't really have to ever slow down, and we can just keep feeding the algorithm we can keep touring, we can keep having new stuff for our fans. They've been awesome partners and they care, which is cool.
So cool. I love that. And yeah, what is your creation process like? And how are you able to kick out 7 songs a year and the album and just kind of keep the music coming like that?
I just write all the time.
Pandemic backstock.
Yeah, we're sitting on like 200 songs.
Wow.
But even still, I think this is like, if I'm home, I think, I wrote like 5-6 songs this month. And we're home till top of the year. So it is tough to write. Like, I don't write when we tour and stuff like that, but when we're home, it takes me a couple weeks to get out of the like tour brain and get back into like creation brain.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just super. Yeah, I love writing.
And then do you have a home studio where you record, or do you go to someone else's studio, and do you bring a band together? Are you mostly creating? Because I saw some live videos that you did kind of with the band in studio, but your studio recordings sound like they could theoretically be a lot of it in the box, some of it with live musicians. Like, tell me about that, the recording process.
We pretty much track all our, like, we'll get our stuff like 90% of the way. I do all my vocals like in this room that I'm in. And then bass and guitar. And then if we want to take it to like somebody, we'll go like with the producer that we did the album with. We went to LA for like 6 days and did like 14 songs in 6 days, because we had the bulk of them were already like pretty finished, and he just added like a lot of really cool layers and textures and made parts interesting. So that's kind of the process that we roll with.
Nice. And so those live band, like kind of live in studio stuff, that's just is that kind of the touring band? Is that the live stuff? Yeah. And yeah, very cool.
We love live drums, but neither of us play drums during the show, so we're just like, we need that on show. We did a show with Coin at a college, and they were like, you can't have drums, so we went as like the duo. And after that show, they came on after us, and just like, Coin is amazing. So we were just like, never again.
But we had backing track drums.
Yeah, we had backing track
all
drums.
the drums like from the album. And then it's just the two of us up front, like,
just like,
hey.
I was like, I can't do this again. We need to just always have a drummer.
Yeah. But you don't have live drums on most of the records?
No, I think only Wake Up has live drums. And there's like little drum fills and stuff that we throw in. But yeah, no, the drums are pretty much all in the box.
Yeah. Sounded like, yeah. Cool. Right on. Well, what's next? Like, do you have a tour planning? I know you're releasing a lot of music. What's kind of 2025 looking like for you?
I think in a perfect world, we're submitted to some really cool tours, top of the year, some bigger support tours. We just got off like a 6-week fall tour. So we're trying to get back on both coasts. We'd love to do a headline tour this summer. That's kind of being like talked about, because we haven't since last April. So I feel like getting out, doing that. And then I think we're going to try and put out a bunch of music with our friend All Bloom. And then on top of that, we're going to do our own EP/vinyl.
Just waterfall them throughout the year and do an EP at the end of the year. So.
And now we're in the publishing world too. So we're just doing co-writes.
You're writing a lot of songs.
Yeah. We've been writing for all genres. So I feel like, honestly, we moved here. We moved to Nashville 9 years ago. 2015. And we've waited tables up until this year. We never paid ourselves a dime from like any of the money we made from the band. And we just waited tables to pay for our bills, and then covered all our band expenses with money we made from the band. And this is the first time now we have someone helping us with like our life bills. And then, so it's interesting. We've never gotten to just like freely just be musicians. So it's the first time.
That's great. Well, this is it's a perfect segue to my final question that I ask everyone who comes on the show. And that is, what does it mean to you to make it in the new music business? Each of you go for it.
You go first?
My dream, I'm married, he's engaged. My dream was always to like make enough money that we just had a kid too. So my wife, that she wouldn't have to work and she could just stay home and raise the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it used to be. She always does a really good job of reminding me whenever I say like, man, like when we make it or when we do this. And she's like, you're doing it right now. Like you have so much that so many bands out there are just like praying for every day. So just like be grateful for what you have and know that you're in it. So don't sit here and miss it hoping for the next big thing. So
love that.
I like to think that we have made it. We're doing it. So
I mean, I definitely don't feel like I've made it because I haven't had any like what feels like crazy life changes. Even like not getting to wait tables isn't like a super tangible life change yet for me. Obviously, I would love to be like playing the biggest stages and getting to see what like this. We have like talks about like what it would look like on like a mass scale and stuff like that. But honestly, for me, I just want to, same, like just be able to like do the things that I want to do and enjoy life. I think the fact that we've been doing it for a little bit too, like it makes me realize that like, you know, we've had friends that signed to like major labels, went on these like huge tours and have since been dropped and now don't even work in music anymore. And I think more so it's just, I have goals, but they're not necessarily like things that I have to measure up against. They're just like things I would rather like hit in the future. And I'm just trying to enjoy it day by day. Otherwise I just get stressed. That's what therapy's for.
Absolutely. And songwriting.
Right. Exactly.
Right on, guys. Well, thank you so much. This was great. Best of luck with everything that 2025 is going to bring. It sounds very exciting. I'm crossing my fingers for you for those support tours, but it's going to be great nonetheless. So right on. Yeah.
We'll
thanks
find
so
that
much.
photo. We'll send you that photo.
Yes. Find that photo.
I'll hunt it down.
Today's episode was edited by Ari Davids with music by Grassroots District and produced by all the great people at Ari's Take.